Hi, welcome. This is going to be a tutorial for ArcoLinux, and it's going to be an all-in-one video, and we'll end up with Herbstluftwm in the system. Now, how does one approach such things? We go and have a visit at ArcoLinux. Let's do that first so we can download the latest ISO. So ArcoLinux is a simple, lightweight distribution. You go to the download, you see what you want to have. It's the one from September. I could have waited just one day and I would have my other one from October. Really, it doesn't matter. It's just an update of 623 megabyte you see here. And that's fine. You should be able to download this thing and do anything with it. All right. In the meantime, that's downloading. Next thing we need is guidance. ArcoLinux.com. ArcoLinux gives you learning phases: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5. So actually we're at phase 5. And there is a guide here. You see start here, start here. There's a guide here. Then you should follow the guide that says, okay, we have 4 phases, explains everything, website, some sources from video, other people who've written nice ArcoLinux installation guides. So that's great. Continue reading here, read more. I've went and read complete FAQ of ArchWiki. Do that, it will be updated, and by now this article has been written April the 10th of 2018. So yes, there should be updates. Continue reading here, and help, we've read the help as well, etc. So go read the information provided for you to help you. Then we're at the phase to download the ISO and setting up VirtualBox. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we are at the choice. Indeed we have a choice to either be EFI, so a newer motherboard. We're going to fake, of course, VirtualBox, virtual machine. Fake being a new motherboard, and the other one is an MBR. So this is the look you get them. And if you have an MBR system, then it's this nice boot up screen. So it's the choice we have to follow, and one of the two is going to be checked. And let's first see if the download is here. So seeding, we delete it, we keep the file, also delete the files. No, we're gonna keep the files. We're gonna quit this because otherwise it's still there, the application. And then in here, in the downloads, we'll see the ArcoLinux. So let's wait for the official guide to come out before we do anything with it. Here we have the ArcoLinux 2019-09 01, so the 1st of September basically, and we'll have to boot up from there. So super F7 if you have installed VirtualBox. If you did not, if you do not know how, it's pretty simple in the sense that we have scripts that we run, and the scripts are on the github.com Eric Dubois. It's called ArcoLinux Nemesis, and I figured it out once. I make a script from it for it, and we have here all kinds of applications we can install. But VirtualBox still down there, Visual Studio, but this is VirtualBox for the guys on Linux LTS. So the Linux kernel, long-term support, or the normal Linux kernel, then you install this one. Okay, you see it in the NeoFetch when it comes up. It will say that the kernel is an LTS version or not. The 3 letters are there. So I ran this little guy here, which basically, quick glance, so it's in the video. Like so. Basically it doesn't say much, but you have to know you need this guy as well and that guy as well. And then you reboot, don't forget to reboot, and then everything will be fine. Super F7. We have a VirtualBox. It's going to the wrong screen, but we have it. And personally, I have a kind of template available. I know this is gonna be the wrong template, so I'm gonna delete it. I've made another video about it, and I overwrote the empty template with actual operating system. So I think I just trashed it. Get started, restore, downloads, get started. I have this VirtualBox template ready here. So Control C, I have everything prepared after clean installation that I just need to copy paste it over to here. It all happens in a script. It's going to be extracted. This can go now. And when we open our Super F7 again, we'll have a template to add, my template. This is an empty one, and it's from here that we have to clone. I see it still has the VBox VGA, which is just fine. In the other video, I said to the guys, look, we can actually change it and go to VBox display, VBox SVGA will work as well. So I'll just show you guys that's indeed possible as well. I'll keep it like this. So both videos will be online. We have ArcoLinux that we're going to install. Let's put the ISO in there. That's not the one we need. We need a download. Here it is. That's the one. Double click. Wrong screen, my friends. Control F. In here. That's where you need to go. Let's see if it sticks here. No, it does not. There's a trick for it. I think it was double clicking on this here and then Control F. Then it knows I'm recording on screen 1. So that's basically the choice we get when we boot up from an ISO and DVD, and we take the first line to actually boot and do our thing. Now I'm gonna Control F it again, because we're gonna need to decide. Well, we've already decided we did not check UEFI, so we're gonna click on BIOS, and it's going to move us and bring us exactly where we want to go, and that's this one, phase 1 BIOS. If we click this, we get the same page, the same link up here. So this is your guide. By the way, it has been changed. We always forget to change the date. It's regular basis. We check the file again of this text again. I should actually change it to 2019 or something. Maybe 2 months ago I've done this. So again, another one, another check. So yeah, you read what's in here, boot from ISO, you see the image, we saw the image, then we're gonna see a prompt, and let's move this out of the way. So I have my right screen, that's providing me this link, and I follow along with, well, the guide. So it looks still the same. The videos, the screenshots we've made then were for kernel 4.16, now it's 5.2.11. It doesn't really matter. So the kernel is there, we're root, and we need to do some stuff. Pre-installation, set keyboard layout. That's the first thing I need to do. You need to figure out what keyboard shortcuts are possible. And most of the time people know it. There's a link in here that says, okay, wiki ArcoLinux keyboard configuration in console. So you can have a look what's possible here. Let's do this like this again. We have a code here, find user, etc. What I need to do is say to the system that I can't really work with QWERTY. I need my Latin 1. This is going to be fine. So AZERTY is okay. We're scrolling down, verify the boot mode. No need to verify. We know and saw the colorful logo. We know we're on an MBR. You can do that. We have internet, since I have internet, we have internet, VirtualBox will have internet, you can ping, etc. But skipping that as well. Time, right? So time, date, set NTP true. That's the first real command I have to type in. Scrolling down, we're going to partition already. So we have a system, a hard disk, and the hard disk needs to be well partitioned. And with fdisk we can have a look if we have bad usage. -L would be better, maybe. Give me a list. So this is what we have, a VBox hard disk. Not much to look at really, but it's 20 gigabytes. So that's what we're gonna do. with 20 gigabytes when you're going to install ArcoLinux. CF disk. It has a clean hard disk. You only see this thing if you buy an SSD or hard disk from the store. Then there is no label whatsoever available, and you choose, right? Now this is MBR and this is EFI. So I've chosen to go for MBR. I need to choose DOS. That's that. And then we scroll down. There is another command. So if you don't see this pop up, you see the wipe fs and SG disk. So these two guys are quite important. For instance, also when you are installing ArcoLinux and you get problems with calamares because of partitionings, and it can't get over the way everything is formatted and so on. This is a clean slate wiping of your hard disk, this one or that one. Use either or both, anyway, to make sure that everything is gone, and then you have it as it seems for the operating system. You have a hard disk that's completely new, right out of the shop, really, and not formatted. Okay, so we're not going to do that, but just wanted to share that because I know that helped people in the past. Use the arrow keys to move around, he says. Okay, fine. So arrow keys, right? Great. So we're going to make a new partition. What's the size? Let's take... I've made a tutorial on another video where we did not use swap. And I've made another tutorial later on to actually make a swap file afterwards. So after the clean installation, you decide, I do want to have a swap, but there's no partition, then you can use a swap file. So there are many possibilities, but let's make in this video one with swap. Okay, so we have another way of well, showing the data. So 20 gig for, okay, let's take 15 gig for the hard disk and 5 gig for the swap. So this one is Linux, fine. This is going to be bootable, okay. And the free space, the rest of it is going to be swap, primary, but the type is, I think it's, here it is, Linux swap, Solaris. So let's have a look what we've done in the video, in the text I mean. So here we have boot as well, 18, so that's going to be our Linux element, and that's Linux. And then a little bit later on we decide Linux swap, and we have a Linux swap Solaris of 11. This time we've taken a 5. So it really is up to you how much you're gonna need. The idea for swap is if you let the computer sleep and hibernate and stuff like that, it needs to be more than your memory. I have 16 gigabytes of memory, so it's not possible for me to really use. I can use swap, but not really sleep for it. I mean, can't get into my 5 gig. Point being, think about your hardware. What do you have, and decide the numbers. This is just an exercise. So this should be it, right? It's boot. This thing is important. We've done it, fine. So we're going to say to write it. Unless you say yes, nothing happens to your machine. Okay, and then quit. And then we can actually, like the guys in here says, we can actually have a look. ls block. Give me the list of the block devices. There you go. We have SDA and SDA1 and SDA2. Great. Let's scroll down. Format the partitions is next up. So we want to make a file system, and we want to choose something, because we can choose these guys. These are all file systems, and it's up to you to make it even more difficult if you like, but ext4 is a good and sound choice. Device SDA1, correct. That's the one that's for Linux, and the other one is for the swap. So make me a swap, and the device you can use it for is SDA2, and swap on. So now we know we have two partitions and they actually are formatted. The one is formatted and the other is active. Mount the file system bias. Okay. So mount me the device SDA1 inside. Well, we have something ls. We have cd ls. We have a Linux system in our computer. At this point in time we have etc home, etc., and we have also this mount partition mnt. So what we're gonna do is say mount me the device, we've just created that one, to root mnt. So the blue one next to lib64 there. Okay, we've mounted this partition in that folder so we can go inside later on. Then selector mirrors is next up. Fine. Let's see, nano capital letter Eric. Yep. All right, there it is. United Kingdom is actually good for me. It's not that far away. France can be good as well. So basically this is for me good. So I'm not gonna put, I could put, for instance, France, a hashtag in front of it. Then it's not used. Control X, say yes, enter, escape, cancel, Control C. I typed something here wrong. Rest, that's it. So I just said, okay, don't want to see the one from France. But so we'll never see it anyway, because he's going to use the one of United Kingdom, which I hope is going to be a fast one. Then we're going to install, install the base and the base development packages. Backstrap, and he needs to know where he needs to do it. Well, on the partition that's going to be our system, SDA1. In mount, there is the SDA1. So in here, put everything in here. And what do you need to put in there? The base and base development packages. And we see already errors here for downloading, failed retrieving, community, etc. So, okay, Control C. Gonna go back to my mirror list. And Spain, France, let's take that one. Control X, yes, enter, and this one. That's better. So it's all kind of servers, I know 100 maybe, of ArcoLinux servers over the world. You can see it on the wiki, how many servers there are. And some of them are synced, let's say most of them are 100%. Some of them are synced 90%, 95%. And if it's just those packages you want, yeah, then you get these errors. Then just take another server, another mirror. That's the point of this mirror list. Take another computer. All right, so we are here in the backstrap, base development, configure the system. We have made our pizza pie, you know, there's a pizza, we've divided the pizza into pieces. A big chunk is going to Linux, to the root, and the other bit a smaller chunk, 1/4 is going to 1/4 is going to the swap. And the way we did it, we need to put it also on the other system, the system we're gonna work with, the one on SDA1. So that's basically that line. It's going to make sure that the partition we created, the way we see it, is also transferred to the future system. And afterwards we're going to arch root, and we're going actually inside the mount partition. Almost there. I was just thinking that time flies by. I remember the day we had 5.0 and we're already at 5.3 for kernel. So we're going to generate the file system tab -u. Where are we going to put it? In mount. and the output is going into mount etc. No typos allowed. This needs to be correct. Gonna check again. genfs tab -u mount. Okay. And we're gonna check this, because this is wrong, you won't boot. As simple as that. There is no booting if there's a mistake in here. So here it says, and the Linux will see, okay, that partition.uid is going to be the root, the other one is going to be a swap, and he knows. Without this text, he can't really know. Control X. Save, no. All right, that's done. Scrolling down on the page, routing. So this is still on the live DVD. If we're going to change and we want to move to the future hard disk, you do this. We are inside the future hard disk. No colors anymore. This is your future directories. Then it's time to put on our time zone. We're gonna make a link, symbolical one, and we're gonna force it. User share zone info Europe Brussels and etc local time. That's it. So etc local time file is pointing to somewhere on the user share. That's basically what we did. The hardware clock is going to be set with sys2hc. And scrolling down, locale, that's important. Nano etc locale gen. And in here with page down, page down, page down, page down, I'm gonna look for enus. I think it's this one, the UTF-8 that I'm gonna need. X, Control X, yes, enter, and then we need to generate it. Generate the locale, please. That's done. We can then make the language, but I'm going for the shorter alternative this time. So on the website, you'll see that there's a way to open a file, type this, save it, open a file, type this, save it. Or you can do the shorter alternative. I'm gonna do the shorter alternative this time around. Again, watch out for typos. It's a bit tricky in the sense that, yeah, you have to watch out for anything that's that you type wrong. Okay. Done. This is my asserti, so if you're something else, you put something else in here. All right. Scrolling down, host name is needed. There was also a shorter alternative for it. Echo Arch Linux. That's really like this. Done. Then the nano hosts. Maybe you've already worked with ArcoLinux, and we have a application HBlock. An HBlock is a blocker. It's going to make sure that you don't end up in the wrong websites where they are going to track your PC or even hack your PC. So it's going to make sure that you stay safe. That needs to be double point, yep, that's it. And that's step, by the way. And this HBlock thing is going to override this one. It's going to keep these lines, but it's going to add a lot more. It's going to say 0000 is and then some ugly, stupid website where it shouldn't be, and then you're safe. That's how he does it. So on ArcoLinux.com, there's an article about HBlock. It keeps you safe. Like this. Okay. Control X and then yes and enter. Scrolling down, network configuration. This is where we differ from ArcoLinux installation guideline. Here we say we're gonna need the network manager later on any of our 15 desktops we have now. So we install it straight away now already. Why would we bother with DHCP if we're going not to use it anyway? We're going to use this guy, systemctl, and then enable, and do type it with capital network manager. Oh my god, the M, so this one should be capital, and then you see these 3 lines, then you're safe. Created, and there's no error message. That's okay. Okay, scrolling. Initram fs is no longer in there, so we don't do that anymore. And then we have the root password. My password for root is this. Done. The bootloader, that's an important one. I tend to forget it from time to time. I say, oh, what's happening? Something that I did wrong in regards to the grub. Then everything, of course, does not boot. Thanks to the installation, I have now grub installed, and that's done as well. No error reported. And then a grub. Make me the configuration file -o in the boot, in the grub.cfg, and that looks also normal. And then we are at the rebooting. So it means exit, it means umount. There was a new line I saw online. You can do something else instead of A. You can actually have a look what it was. Why not? Arc. So the installation is in the wiki installation guide, and all the way down they've changed it to so here they say initramfs is not used, not necessary. It was run during the installation of the Linux package. So we're not doing it, so we'll see. Logging out, where is it? We've done all that. Where did I see it then? Here, -r. Unmount of umount, -r mount. That's the new text I've put online. Doesn't really matter as long as you're unmounted. Even without unmounting, you still can do it, of course. So let's go for a reboot. Now, reboot's okay, but I'm not gonna reboot. I'm gonna power off, just like that. I'm gonna get rid of the ISO, so no ISO anymore. No ISO. Basically, it needs to boot off from the hard disk now. There's the hard disk. 3, 2, 5, 1 second, all right. Probably 5 standard. And we are back. And then if everything is fine, so everything is rebooted, then you have the next step. Boot from your SD hard disk or VirtualBox, and then you are back in here. So we're gonna follow basically phase 2. Phase 2. All right. Okay, there is just one login possible, and that's the root. Yeah, we have not made anything for me, but I do have a login for the root and a password for the root. That's it. So let's go on. Now the network manager is already installed. We can actually do pacman -s like this. We see we have internet. Okay. Then AOR helpers is for later, but we use Yay and Trizen. We'll do it later. Multilib is not in ArchWiki. We can activate it now or later. Also something you can do later than in a graphical environment, but hey, last time I skipped it, so this time I'm gonna do it. So go down, and in here we have multilib, like this. Now multilib is activated. Control X, yes, enter, and it's saved. And if you do Pacman, you see an extra line for multilib. So multilib libraries are now, of repositories are now active. Bash completion. We would not have as much fun without it. So there is something that is helping us type commands. With the tab key, you can actually just complete your commands. So that's a great tool. Bash completion is going in right now. I think that's also something that we've chosen, not Arch guide material. User add. We're going to add a user, and he needs to go into groups and all that. So you just type it over. Nobody needs to know this by heart, but it should be typed correctly. This is the last one, is for Bluetooth. We've put it extra here so we don't have problems with our headphones. That's that. So I have an Eric, and Eric needs to have a password, and I have a password now. Now I do need to be able to do something, so I do need to be able to run my things as sudo editor. I'm gonna take editor nano, can take vim or vi, vsudo, and we get this strange line or text. We're gonna look for wheel. I think is this one. Uncommon to allow members of group wheel to execute any command, and we are part of wheel. So we're gonna say this one. Okay, Control X, yes, enter. And then we're gonna exit. This is done for us. Now we're Eric. We log in and we type, well, I can type pacman minus sy. I can type it, but it's not possible. I'm not sudo, but now when I put sudo in front of it, it says 3 lines, you know the lines, and there it is. We can actually do something. So we are scrolling down the page. It's all done. So we are Eric here, log in, we update our systems, and next step. We're at phase 3, and phase 3 we decide to get graphical. So this is a terminal kind of thing, a T2Y thing, a black thing. This is time to get something more graphical. You need a display server, graphics drivers if needed. Sometimes it's needed. Let's assume it's not needed and try it anyway, and then display manager and desktop environment, because kernels often know what to do. They know what to expect. They recognize your hardware, and it just will show you something graphical. And then it depends if you're a gamer or something that you decide to get the drivers for your card, your graphical card. All right, so a bunch of things we're gonna need. So you see it's a group name in there, because I did not type that much. So it's a group name like XFCE is, and multi-extras is, etc. So a group name is going to install a lot more than just a name. That's that. The graphic drivers, we don't need it in VirtualBox. Neither maybe do you need it on your machine. It depends. It all depends. You have to experiment a little bit. And then we have LightDM. So as a display manager, we say sudo pacman -s. Let's take a LightDM, and there is also LightDM GTK greeter, for instance. There's also the WebKit 2 greeter you can use. So a lot of possibilities, but let's stick to what we know works. Greeter, I must have typed something wrong. So I can press tab. I'm using my tab, LTM, and then GTK greeter settings. So a bunch of stuff. Now it's all good. It's at this point in time, it's just files on your system. You don't see anything graphical if you forget to put the next line in. You need to activate. In ArcoLinux words, enable it. If you don't enable the LTM service, nothing is going to happen. So sudo system ctl enable me LTM service. And I'm not typing this, you know, it's using the tab key. That's the auto completion. Great. You need to see this. If you see something, an error or something, you can, I think, put a -f in there to force it if it happens. I don't know. Do not reboot until you have a desktop environment. Do not forget to enable. I'm reading this here. Do not reboot. It happens that I forget to install actually XFCE. When you reboot, for instance, you'll get this LTM nice screen. You can say your login and your password, but there's nothing behind it. So LTM can't pass it on to something else, a desktop. So if you forget to do that, you can still go to Ctrl-Alt-TTY, or in VirtualBox right Control F3 and stuff like that, and install it anyway. But it's now time to choose your desktop. So awesome, BSPWM, and here we have the installation of Herbstluftwm. This is the article that we're going to make. We should be able to get something like this, but this is still an image of ArcoLinux, and this video will come in here. This is what we should do. All right, now it's actually going to, let's go to here, right? ArcoLinux, and you're wondering, Herbstluftwm, how do I install it? ArchWiki installation. You need to have a package or a Git package. Run Herbstluftwm, read pages. We need to copy paste stuff over. Fine, and multiple monitor, we don't need that. And let's do that. Okay, so going to say to the system, okay, fine, install me Herbst. That's enough, probably. Yeah, that's it. That's installed. This is in desktop, 0.49 megabyte. It's a desktop. Okay, it's installed. Now we have something. Let's navigate to it. etc xdg Herbstluft ls. This is what we have. That's what we get. So we could copy this, but first I need to make my directory, I suppose. So this is where the files are. Let me use another TTY. Control F3. Okay, I am in another TTY. Where am I? I'm in my home directory. Okay, so this is what I got in my home directory. There is no .config folder. Okay, make directory .config ls means l. Okay, cd.config. See what I'm doing? So I want to create a folder, just a long way around, but doesn't matter. Just interesting to see as well, I hope. Herbstluftwm. No typos. Okay, so we got this one. Control F1. I'm switching to TTY. This needs to go. This needs to go. All of this needs to go to, well, we actually can make a hard path. This is the hard path, or I can use this one like so, and then config Herbstluft like so. That should be in there. Copy me everything that's in here to there. Control F3 ls cd Herbstluft ls. All right. So basically a long way to just wonder about, but I thought it might be a good idea to use different TTYs to show you different directories actually. what's happening is we're moving from one place to the other place. Copy this to there. I've took everything. You can edit the file for your needs, make the artist start as executable. You saw the colors, it is executable. All right. At this point in time, that's the information we got. There's a lot more technical stuff in here, but that's not on a need to know basis. That's later on. So we could do a sudo reboot. We get LightTM, that's enabled, so we get something graphical at last. It's not nice, okay, but there is something behind it. We've installed something, a desktop, and it's giving the choice. And this is Herbstluftwm, the way it comes out on Arch, so Control F. This is it, right? This is it. I'm wondering, Control F, why it's not going to for my 1920 on 1080. But that's also VirtualBox again. All right, so Control Alt T, Super T, Super Return, Control Alt T. I did everything.